Right. So while we wait for John, just gone before I introduced John, correspondent Humu on the ground brought us report at the Church of Pentecost North Odoko. Church of Pentecost North Odoko has 2 polling stations, different identities though. C161006 and 6161-008. Both North Odoko Church of Pentecost 2 and 4 were unclear where this assault has taken place. But we will eventually find that out when we're able to reconnect with Humu, who is on the ground. We also went to Catmeal, who gave us some brilliant information from his end of the Ablekuma North constituency, where he's told us calm and peace prevailing as compared to where we've just come from. It appears there are 2 different positions. Let's go back and see if this time round we will be able to reconnect with John. John, good morning. Welcome to GBC News. What do you have for us?
Good morning and thank you. I can hear you, please.
Sure. Let's hear you. What do you have for us? What does it look like where you are?
Right. So the atmosphere here at Sakaman, precisely Bethel Baptist Church, is a calm one with tight security. About 17 police have been deployed to this particular police station. So the atmosphere here is a calm one. Voting is going on smoothly, no distraction since 4 started 7 a.m. And at this polling station, some 429 voters are expected to cast their votes. And I'm going to, from the last check I made, only 13 had been able to, cast their ballot. But I'm standing just beside the presiding officer, Madam Shadia Salifu, who I will engage briefly to give us the current update. So, Madam, good morning. You are live on GTV GBC. Now, can you share with us how the process, your general impression of the process so far?
So far, I can't say anything. The place is very cool, and they are trooping in one after the other at the moment. So the place is very quiet. It's not like it's chaos.
And currently, can you share with us how many voters have cast their ballots?
So far, 35.
Right now, we can see that about 17 police personnel have been deployed to this police station. Does that, make you safe to discharge your duty?
Yes, it's safe, but in nutshell, you have to protect yourself. Even though there is security, you have to also protect yourself and your assistants as well. But we are safe.
All right. Anything you would like voters to take note of as the process unfolds?
Since most of the voters are not conversant with the particular police station, so the other police stations are all trooping in to come and vote. So we are just assisting them. If you come and your voter ID number doesn't match, we just tell you that you are not part of it. That's all.
Right, so that is Madam Shadia Salifu. She's the presiding officer for the Bethel Baptist Church police station here in Sakaman. And I have been engaging with some of the voters to understand what really is driving their voting decisions, most of which are voting for the fact that they want, their wards to go to school without paying fees. But one of the things that I've picked is that there has not been enough education as to what the policies are as far as education is concerned and how they stand to benefit. They are saying that when the NPP parliamentary candidate comes to power, they believe that she is going to ensure that their wards who are home and do not pay their fees are able to go to school and pay their fees, which is not the case. So there's a there's a need for educating these folks to understand or to carry them along as far as what is happening in national politics is concerned. But I've been able to speak to different demographics, the aged, the young, and then the middle age, and the the interest varies. Most of the young folks at this police station, Bethel Baptist Church in Sakaman, are voting for the fact that they want job, and they have been grading the performance of the current government. Now, their grading of the government or of the current government is a good one, and this one is just buttress what pollsters have been saying before this process began. They say that the performance of JM administration is a good one. They also say that the economy is going in a good direction, and they're also saying that they are hopeful and they are optimistic that within this administration, although as engaged is a youth who is unemployed, he believes that although he has not been employed yet, he believes that from the way things are going, he can get employed in this administration. And so these are the little things that are driving people's decision as far as voting is concerned.
Very brilliant report. But before you go, can you confirm you have 429 total voters expected to cast their vote where you are?
That's correct. 429 voters are expected to cast their ballot at this polling station.
Right, and polls opened at 7, and so at 8:46, when you first came on air, you can also confirm you've only had 35 persons cast their vote already.
Yeah, so as early as 8:40, there were only 13 voters who exercised their civic responsibility.
Okay.
But as I speak to you now, one person just came in, so 49 have cast their ballot as I speak to you now.
Right. You mentioned where you are is relatively calm. Do you get the impression that people are hesitant to come out and vote?
Well, voter apathy is one of the challenges that has plagued, several police stations, and this police station is not different. I engaged, I was speaking to the Ablekuma West, Member of Parliament, Mr. Reverend Sekwadu, getting what the party has been doing as far as voter apathy is concerned. And he says that voter apathy is not something that they've disputed, but they've taken a move, a door-to-door, campaign to galvanize the people, move them from their homes and to come and cast their ballots. So that's what they've done. But as to whether that is going to be effective, we can only tell at the end of polls.
Before I let you go, what does security where you are look like? We have just come from the Church of Pentecost North Odoko, and there seemed to be some confusion. Do you have a similar thing where you are?
Interestingly, the first thing I found out when I came here was the trust the Electoral Commission officials have in the security that they've been provided, and I was happy to hear that they are confident that the security that they have here is one that they trust, that nothing will intimidate them to act in any way, but they can discharge their duty a fair and in a just way without intimidation that anybody walks in to do them anything.
Right.
So the security here, if I should tell you honestly, is a tight one. The atmosphere here is a calm one. Everything is going smoothly, like Madam Sadia Salifu, the presiding officer, said. Everything is going smoothly, no disruption, no controversy, no argument. Everything is smooth here. Honestly.
Right. Thank you very much, John. We would have to leave it here. We'll come back to you. And if you spot anything that needs to be out there as well, kindly reconnect and we'll come back to you. Thank you very much. That just gone as our correspondent on the ground, John Goama, reporting from the Bethel Baptist Church polling station, where he reports that there is calm, there's a presence of police personnel who are maintaining the peace, and he spoke to the presiding officer at that station, being Madame Salifu, whose also voice we heard not too long ago, confirming what John had told us. We will shortly be going on the telephone to speak to Richard Kumado, a security analyst, whose thoughts we're going to sample on what his impressions or what his reflections over the past elections and what we're going through currently, and what the likely outcome will be going forward as far as these two candidates are concerned. If we have Richard on the phone, let me quickly welcome Richard Kumado. Good morning and welcome to GBC News.
Thank you. Thank you.
First of all, how will you describe this whole process from December 7th to where we are currently?
I think it was chaotic, and it was chaotic as a result of the ineptitude and negative attitude of the Electoral Commission commissioners. Today, a whole lot of people are criticizing them and are saying they are incompetent and they shouldn't be in their positions. Because over the years, or if you remember when we started a limited registration in this country, a lot of errors, a lot of inconsistencies, and a lot of inaccuracies. That is what has gotten us to where we are now. Finally, we are here to run elections at the 19 police stations. We are only praying and hoping that Electoral Commission will discharge their duties while the police is there to provide a protective cover with the support of the political party. So this is where we are, and we are here because the Electoral Commissioners seem not to know what they are doing, and they keep on changing the goalposts right from the day when we started the limited registration process in this country.
Interesting. Do you have any, perhaps, do you envisage any issues relative to security within the constituency, given that perhaps you are blaming the EC for not doing their job?
Elections are conducted by the EC, mandated by Constitution. Every election has a law which we call the CI. The CI does three things. One, it defines the election processes. And number two, it outlines the procedure. And number three, it provides a remedy where there are discrepancies. If you look at the electoral process we have in this country, it's a so simple one that we should not be having the difficulties we are having. You remember the CI we went to the election with, the electoral commissioner, last minute to the election, introduced two controls. One, they said they will have electronic coalition of the results, meaning that they will send people to the constituency coalition centers to electronically collate the results before the manual process starts. Number two, they said they are going to paste the pink sheet by a pole, whether a coconut tree or electric pole, closer to the police stations. Why then do we finish election and the political party said they don't have a pink sheet, and the Electoral Commission said they don't have a pink sheet, and you are saying that people should use a scanned copy? Where did they get a scanned copies from? Between NDC and MPP, where did they get a scanned copies from? Is it not the original one election officers did that? So you could see the Electoral Commission set up the nation and created a lot of public safety challenges for this country. Then they want to turn back and say there have been issues of insecurity. Electoral Commission must always do number one, while the police do number two. If they don't do number one, the police cannot do number two. And that is where we are, right from the 2020 election, when the results were changing almost every second. It wasn't coming from the police database, it was coming from the Electoral Commission. And so that is why they must accept their responsibilities and make sure that the 19 constituency police stations we are talking about, the delays have been stopped and the processes have taken place and everything go according to plan. We have been to the police stations. I've visited about 16 at 3 a.m. And I can tell you the police were there. They were willing and able to do the job, waiting for the Electoral Commission to do their number one. So that is where we are.
That indeed the EC is supposed to be the one who plans and stages elections, manages and also declare at the end of it. But the entire activity isn't one that is solely the responsibility of the EC. Citizens as well as political parties have their own responsibilities and roles to play.
There's a noise at your background. Can you ask the question again?
The question is, can we hold the EC solely accountable for a case that is described broadly as isolated Ablekuma North?
Definitely, yes. They are mandated to conduct election. Conducting of election means that you go through the initial process and you declare results. And the results will have to be as accurate as possible per the standards we set up ourselves in this country that will run a democracy. And you remember, to enhance your democracy and to enhance your governance, elections are one of them. And the accuracy and the objective and the transparent nature of the election determine how you choose your leaders. If we keep on getting it wrong, we might be setting out ourselves for distraction, which we don't want. So, Electoral Commission has the highest responsibility of discharging their duties.
Hopefully, all things being equal, the EC will stand up to be counted at today's 19 polling station elections. What we cannot say, though, is where it will go. Given what we know about Ablekuma North being a safe seat for the MPP, do you get the impression the people will retain or bring back Ekuafriye?
I don't know why there's noise at your background, but if I understand your question properly, yeah, it seems to be their stronghold,
yes.
But the numbers have dwindled. But the total number they have now, I think they are leading with just about 48 votes. But you are looking at 19 police stations with a total vote cast today, if all go well, with about over 6,000.
Yes.
And so 48 is just a minute number. Whether NDC wins or MPP wins, what you want is that the process has to be transparent, it has to be accurate, and it has to be objective. And the police must provide a protective cover, while the process is taken care by the election officers, which include the political party agents. One of the difficulties we have is a lot of discrepancies and distortions. And normally that happens at the close of polls. So even though we must start smoothly, we are going straight out to close of polls, which is 5 p.m., where you look out for where there's a coalition and sorting and tabulation and counting, discrepancies, duplications, and distortions. If the Electoral Commission can sort out those ones, while the police provide a protective cover, they'll be able to pull it off.
And so, given what you've just said, are you expecting the NPP once again to go home with a bloody nose?
No, it depends on the voter turnout. If people do not turn out, it's going to affect the NPP, because the onus is on them to win, predominantly to increase their numbers in parliament, because Kumi Akotia has just died, and there's likely to be by-election in Akotia. So if they lose this election at Ablekuma North, then their numbers will further go down, and the NDC is going to have a lot more numbers and to bully them in parliament. And that also goes back to the discrepancies in communications, that they are not going for the election, they are going for the election. And it created a whole lot of problems where the national party said we are not going and the candidate said we are going. If you look at the money that has gone into these 19 police stations and the expected number of all manner of persons to hang around there, then I'm encouraged my uncle to ensure that anybody who crosses the red line is sorted, and the police will have to be swift as possible. But the onus is on the MPP to mobilize people out to come out and vote. For the NDC, if they win, that's a good news. If they don't win, they know it's not their stronghold.
Talking about the police and having to be swift, we're already hearing some altercation between the police and a journalist who's been assaulted by a police officer, he claims. What is your measure of what the situation is likely to be relative to maintaining peace and order insofar as the police and election is concerned?
Safety of voters is number one. Security of election officers is number two. And number three is to ensure that we have compliance from beginning to the end. And nobody is above the law. The police will have to be strict. They will have to be aggressive. And they have to take the bull by the horn, irrespective of whoever you are. There are standard procedures we have to follow. And the police issued a statement yesterday. Anyone who flouts the law, the police must bring them to book. That is the only way you serve a deterrence to other people. Because Ablekuma North is a very hot spot for the police when it comes to elections. Out of the 19 police stations we are talking about, there are about 3 of them that are very stubborn for all elections. And the police are very aware. And we ask those who are going to vote to form lines, to act orderly, and let peace prevail for once in this country.
Finally, before I let you go, Richard, interesting, but what will be the effect of parliamentarians who are not known or affiliated to Ablekuma North in any way and showing up this morning and speaking to people on the ground, what will be the effect of that as far as security is concerned and maintaining order?
Maintaining law and order is important. Parliamentarians and politicians, whoever they are, they have the right to go from police station to other, from one police station to the other, but they must act orderly. They must behave themselves. They must act as people who have brains in their heads. This is not a civil war, it's an election. If they go flouting the law, I expect the police to deal with them as swiftly, as professionally as possible.
Okay.
And that is the only way we can send a signal that we are a country that is governed by a rule of law.
Right.
And accountability is number one.
Right. Thank you so very much, Richard Kumado, a security expert and a security analyst who's just come through and sharing his thoughts and views on some of the events currently unfolding on the ground at the Ablekuma North constituency, where some 19 polling stations and some 6,000 electorates are expected to cast their ballots to finally nominate or elect a representative either of the NDC or of the NPP to represent them in Parliament. We all conclusively agree that that particular seat is a safe seat for the NPP, and they have won it the most since 1996. Interestingly, we are seeing some politicians from different constituencies or neighboring constituencies showing up this morning at the constituency to lend their support and their weight or throw their weight behind their representative, their party representative. Interesting once again is the fact that at the very beginning, the opposition MPP decided that it was not going to take part in this process. However, at the last minute, we also picked word that the candidate, although the party has taken a position not to participate, the candidate says, no, my people, my constituency needs a representative, and I am going to be there for them. We've heard her also speak to that effect, that even though the party has taken a position, her view is slightly different from that of the party, and that she represents the people, and the people want her to be in the race, and so she is fully participating. Our correspondents are still on the ground, and we'll be crossing over to some of them shortly and to bring you some more on that. But I mentioned earlier that Ablekuma North has a history of maintaining or keeping the NPP to the extent that at one point it became one of a father and a daughter interchangeable thing, where Nana Ekuya Efriye took over from the Honorable Kwame Bartels. And then after one term, the daughter of the Honorable Kwame Bartels, Sheila Bartels, unseated her internally and became the parliamentary candidate for the constituency. Ekuya Efriye staged a comeback within the NPP and eventually got the nod to send Sheila Bartels packing. And then she came to face Irabina Obing, who gave her a good run for her money within the constituency. Unfortunately, the outcome was a bit controversial. It was contended because the EC, everybody would say, could not necessarily produce what the final outcome would be. And so at one point, Irabina Obing was declared the winner. It was challenged in court, and then Justice Bar Forsin told the Electoral Commission to go back to the constituency, collate the 36 outstanding, and then 60 outstanding, and then make sure that it has been declared. The EC went back, did the collation, but there was controversy once again over 19. And that 19 is why the rerun is today ongoing at the Ablekuma North constituency. It will interest you to note that the EC, working with its own internal document, would have otherwise not go for a rerun, because after all, the CI 127, which allows the EC or mandates the EC to run an election, has only one clause within it which allows for a rerun, and that would be when or if there is a tie. In this case, there wasn't a tie. And that is why some interest parties are claiming the EC is bending to allow some or to favor some candidates. It's interesting to note all of this happening as a result of the EC's inability to finally produce a pink sheet to say this is our master collation and that is what we're going by. We're still on the ground, and let me bring you some more. So in 2024, the NPP, who pulled 49% of total valid votes cast, had that changed, quickly shooting up to 58% in 2008, I beg your pardon. And then in 2012, again increased it by 2% from 58% to 60%. It maintained that steady climb. In 2016, it polled 67% of the total valid votes cast. And then in 2020, dropped slightly by some 3 percentage points to 20. In 2020, did 64%. Let me go on the telephone lines once again and speak to Dr. Edu Jemfi, who is a political scientist, and let's pick what his thoughts are so far as Ablekuma North is concerned. Good morning, Dr. Edu Jemfi, and thank you very much for your time. Dr. Edu Jemfi, good morning. Right, okay, I think we don't fully have his ears yet. Let's give it one more push and see what becomes of it. Good morning, Dr. Edu Jemfi, if you can hear me. Dr. Edu Jemfi can't hear me. And so let me give you a recap of the 19 polling stations currently active and receiving voters at the Ablekuma North constituency. Number 1 is God First International School. That's based at Dakuma, or based in Dakuma. We have Pentecost Mount Zion Assembly, Church of Pentecost Mount Zion Assembly, also in Kwashima. DVLA's offices around Awoshi Adamami is also a polling station. And then Asiedu Jedu Memorial School, Awoshi, is a polling station or polling center. Living Spring Day Nursery, Kwashibu, Kwashibu is also one. The Lord's Pentecostal Church, Kwashibu, Presby Church, Odoko, and Church of Pentecost North, Odoko. Another Church of Pentecost North, Odoko, identified by 2 and 4 with different identities. Methodist Church, Odoko 1. And then you have St. John the Baptist Catholic Church, also based at Odoko. Radiant Way Preparatory School is around North Odoko. And then Atiko School Complex, also around Odoko. South Odoko 4 and 5 schools, Odoko. And then Church of Pentecost Chiniboa is also another polling station. Light of Gospel Miracle Church. Light of Gospel Miracle Church is one of the voting or polling stations. And then the Odoko MTTD divisional station is one as well. You have Roman Catholic Church, Busia Junction, Odoko, that's also a polling center, and then Bethel Baptist Church, where John Guama reported from not too long ago. Let's see if we have Doctor back with us. Thank you very much, Doctor. This is GBC News. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, I think we're having a difficulty getting through to Doctor. Okay, so let me go back and do this. And so Ablekuma North, 19 polling stations are currently going through the polls to get some results in order to get a representative to represent them in Parliament. Interesting, at the 2016 elections, we saw a shoot up in voter percentage for the NPP. Between 2012 and 2020, the NPP increased their votes by 7 percentage points and also decreased it by 3 percentage points on average. And in those elections, we had Ikuya Efriye, who is staging a comeback at the moment, who had the 67%, and then we also had Sheila Bartels, who unseated Ikuya Efriye in 2020, pulling 64%. I'll be going on the phone shortly to speak to Professor Samuel Edu, Department of History and Political Sciences at the KNUST, the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. He will be joining us very shortly to discuss the elections as currently ongoing at the Ablekuma North constituency. It's a constituency within the Greater Accra region which borders Ablekuma Central, also borders parts of the Okankoi constituencies, as well as the Ablekuma. It borders Ablekuma Central, Ablekuma West, Okankoi North, Okankoi Central, Okankoi South, Anya Soutum, and Weja Gbawe constituencies. And so this undoubtedly is in the heart of the Greater Accra region. And so it's really a very urban constituency. It's been represented by the MPP in Parliament since 1996. That has never changed. Interestingly, the NDC is giving that a steep chase in order to take the seat as part of their seats at the last election. And at the last election, the NDC, which holds the majority in Parliament, has over 180 MPs. We're going on the telephone lines to speak to Professor Samuel Edu, at the Department of History and Political Sciences or Studies at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Good morning, Prof. Thank you very much for your time.
Good morning, my brother. Thanks for having me.
First of all, Prof, what will be your reading?
Before we zoom into it, can I get part of the intro? Mine is Samuel Edu Jemfi. Right.
Samuel Edu Jemfi.
So
oh, okay. Right. Okay. Thank you very much for the correction, Prof. What will be your reading of events or activities from the last election, December 7th, to what we currently are going through at the Ablekuma North constituency?
We can have a lot of reasoning around what we've seen so far. I think on the first leg, we need to reflect on ultimate responsibility. In my mind, I think that the Electoral Commission, and for that matter, the returning officer and all those agents and actors of the commission ought to have had complete documentation with respect to the election, the counting process, the recording and all that. And in that regard, it should have had the opportunity in the presence of the law governing their practices to be able to make a declaration as to who won the elections within the period under review. Its inability to have done that within the period under review requires good people of Ghana and individuals who are interested in electoral reform, first of all, to look at potential judicial processes that will lead to such individuals who slept on their job and not provide the appropriate, if you like, documentation to rather declare the election or to declare the winner, irrespective of the posture and the position of the MPP or the NDC. Their inability to do that or to have done that fundamentally shows that the Electoral Commission, the Commission's agents in Ablekuma North went to sleep. It's as simple as that. Having said that, we need to appreciate the fact that free and fair election does not mean that we have a perfect election. The processes having been set in place can be bedeviled with many, not only institutional challenges, but also procedural challenges and challenges within the course of the election. And so when some of these things come up, it is important that due processes are put in place to resolve it. And around this time, part of the strategy I believe the Electoral Commission sought to use was to engage the two political parties, which they have done historically in our electoral reforms, that power would not only emanate from the top, but also the political party whose interests would, vehemently or vociferously be put across within meetings with the Electoral Commission ahead and sampled, and some kind of consensus building is put into perspective to allow for a true reflection of what would be satisfying to the NPP, the NDC, and the other smaller parties, and that can dovetail into the collective good or the interest of the state. So once we've had these things happen, even in the course of time, the only glitch we would see is with the fact that at one point the Deputy Commissioner was saying that it is only 3 that is in doubt or in question, and therefore it was easy to come by some final arrangement, except that we are told, following up to that some 19 polling stations were that which were in question and had to be rerun. The NPP's own interest here was to accuse the Electoral Commission and to better still attempt to discolor the face of the NDC being in power. But what is fundamental is that the process is being held today. The good people of Ablekuma North would have the privilege, I'm sure, by the close of the day or by tomorrow, to know who is their parliamentarian who will be representing the teeming masses of that constituency to serve their cause, their interest, and the cause of Mother Ghana. For me, that should be the greatest cause we should be aspiring to by the close of the day.
Okay, thank you, Professor Edujemfi. But do you agree with those who argue that a rerunning of these polling stations is a contradiction of a court order, the court order of January 4th by Justice Forcing Ejapomba, who directed the EC or ordered the EC to go and collate and declare, and the EC not having gone back to the court pursuant to regulations 42 of CI 127, therefore cannot hold such an election?
It is very interesting to reflect on the legal regime on this matter. It is also important to ask ourselves, did the EC do anything in the course of time to see gaps in this ruling of the court? Among other things, if the court says that they should go out there to do their job and to declare the winner, so be it. So I agree with you in Tutu that if they've had a glitch in the process of collating and adding the results to the extent of making a declaration, it is proper, right, in that respect, to go back to the court of competent jurisdiction to present a case insofar as this matter is concerned, to say that you are unable to proceed to make a declaration because of the challenges you are faced with. But that in itself also reinforced my position earlier. The fact that there is a certain ultimate responsibility that must be, if you like, held or carried by certain actors. The chief, of course, is the returning officer in that constituency. His officers who played a role to this great bottleneck, right? And to, of course, set confusion in the heart and mind of the Ablekuma North constituents, right? So, again, I am sure in the foreseeable future, like I said earlier, the good people of Ghana may have to go to court to test some of these things and to ensure that others will face the music, will face the rules and the laws of this country, having gone to sleep and flouted potential arrangements within the electoral regime. Right. Having said that, in this process, is there a possibility that the court may eventually announce the outcome of this election, whether it goes to the left or right? If somebody presents a matter again before the court to relook at its own judgment and then bring the Electoral Commission before it. So potentially we are likely to have some days at the court going forward. But what is important for me is that the good people of this constituency must have their parliamentarians serving their interest in terms of this representative democracy, and better still contributing to the check on the executive arm of government, re-emphasizing the point that the democratic regime and the wheels of democracy must be unencumbered around this time as we continue to build on our democratic culture.
Right. This particular constituency has been arguably that of the NPP, a safe one for them for that matter. Given the current trend, do you envisage or do you see a possible voter changing hands and switching from the NPP to the NDC?
Some have argued that the NPP did not throw their support behind their candidate. I wanted to use former, but it might be unfair to the candidate. But to their candidate, because they are, among other things, of the view that the whole process is bedeviled by many errors or infractions. Second of all, it is also the case that the question about incumbency seems to be well and alive. That the government, the NDC government, won with about 1.7 million plus votes, unprecedented within the Fourth Republic, and the state is potentially in bed with the government. And around this time, would a cross-section of the state decide to vote against the candidate of the NDC, which has formed government? Okay. There is something in their mind, I'm sure. They are not sure that such a referendum against the government will take place. And for that matter, it may rather inure to the benefit of the government of the NDC, and for that matter, the NDC candidate. The third layer of this discussion is the fact that does the individual capacity, the knowledge, the expectation of the people broadly or narrowly dovetail into rather the charisma of the individual candidate as against party voting, and also the question of incumbency. Many factors may be at play today, but for me, what is significant is that what would come out as the final outcome should be a reflection of the expectations of the people and the real votes of the people being counted and reflecting the true winner amongst the lot. Right.
Finally, what difference would it have made if the EC had taken the same position it took at Domi Kwabenya, where obviously we had an almost similar situation, but then the EC eventually, sitting with the various parties, decided or agreed that even if we put every other outstanding vote together, the difference between the winner and the loser at the time will be insignificant to make any difference for especially the losing party. And then let's come to Ablekuma North, where currently we know the vote difference is 48. and you have an outstanding 6,000 more votes to collate. Couldn't the EC have come to the same conclusion that perhaps given that one has a 48 vote lead, it would not make any difference even if the 6,000 is somehow assumed to be for one?
If it's as simple as that, then the electoral, I'm sure, returning officer would have done so with ease. I'm not sure that that it was as simple as it is, as spelled out. But having said that, we also have to look at some idiosyncrasy so far as the exercise of discretion is concerned within individuals, right? And that is why I'm of the view that even after this process, the principle of ultimate responsibility should be looked at, and punitive measures must be taken against officers who slept on their job. For me, that is my view on this.
Right. Okay. I said I was going to let you go, but finally, one question has just come through. So let me bring that before you. What difference would it make, especially in Parliament, looking at numbers, if the NPP is to win the seat? What difference would it make in Parliament?
If the NDC should win?
No, the MPP.
Yes, of course. I mean, at least it pushes them up a layer. There are questions around the 2/3 majority and all that.
Okay.
But for me, a victory for the NPP goes beyond the question of Parliament. That is why they ought to have been on the grounds campaigning, in a sense, to remobilize their forces and frontier within Ablekuma North. Significantly, also allowing what would happen there to resonate in other constituencies across the country, to at least show that the MPP is well and alive. And even if we should lose this election, it would rather be an agency or a tool or a fulcrum for a remobilization. It is something they have failed in doing. They have done so because of, if you like, the differences and the striking conflict and conflictual situations within their own party. That in itself also re-echoes the fact that the MPP is not well and alive, it is not doing well, and I hope that they remobilize their forces and vote against the current executives to allow new ones to emerge. Right.
Thank you so very much, Professor Edu Gyamfi, for sharing your thoughts with us as far as this election is concerned at the Ablekuma North constituency. One question that's just popped up here, which I would gladly put forward to my next guest, will be whether or not there is going to be a political price to pay on the part of the NPP for the initial indecision, some call it, or their initial position not to participate. Will that have any cost in terms of political capital to the NPP as far as Ablekuma North is concerned? Let me also bring you back to the total number of polling stations and their locations within the constituency, just so that if you're just joining us, you will know that it is not the entirety of the constituency that is currently being or participating in the rerun. There are only 19 polling stations currently taking part in the rerun. These polling stations are God First International School, the Church of Pentecost, Mount Zion Assembly, Dakuma and Kwashibu respectively, and DVLA's offices around Awoshin, Adamami, and then Adamami, you have a Siedu Jedu Memorial School, You also have Living Spring Day Nursery based in Kwashibu. You have Presby Church Odoko number 4, Church of Pentecost North Odoko number 2, Church of Pentecost North Odoko number 4, Methodist Church Odoko number 1, the St. John the Baptist Catholic Church Odoko number 1, and Radiant Way Preparatory School North Odoko number 2, and Article School Complex Odoko, South Odoko 4 and 5 Schools Odoko number 3, and the Church of Pentecost Trinidad number 2, Light of Gospel Miracle Church Twiniboa number 2, and the MTTD Odoko Divisional Station that is slightly away from the Atiko or the Dakuman Junction. If you're driving on the Odoko Kaswa Highway. You also have the Roman Catholic Church, Busia Junction, Odoko 1, and Bethel Baptist Church, Sakama 1. These are the polling stations where elections are taking place this morning at the Ablekuma North constituency. You're watching GBC News, your most authentic source for news and stories of national interest. My name is Darrell Alantego. We're glad you're with us, and we're glad you're following us. We're also streaming live on our social media handles at GBC and at GTV Ghana. And so you can watch us live on Facebook. You can also watch us live on YouTube, where every of what we're doing currently is streaming live on there. We will be going on the ground, or we will be going back down to Ablekuma North and reconnect with some of our reporters who are on the ground and bringing us up to the minute news and stories as they unfold. Not too long ago, we heard of an altercation between a journalist and a police officer. The journalist claims, though with evidence, is alleging that the police officer engaged him to step out of the polling area, but obviously he stood his ground as a reporter, and that didn't go down well with the police officer, and so he assaulted him. That obviously, if a formal complaint is made, will have to be investigated and appropriate sanctions applied where it is necessary. We also see in some footages online pointing to some confusion around the Church of Pentecost North Odoko. We're unsure if it's the 2 or the 4, but we have a reporter there, and so we will go to our reporter on the ground to find out what they know about this particular assault or this particular confusion, and whether or not that has any links to do with the presence of some political elements within the national politics, political circles. We currently have reporters stationed within the Ablekuma North constituency, and so the Ablekuma North constituency is very much firmly on our radar and under our radar. For those of you, or for those of us who do not know where to locate the Ablekuma North constituency, it is here in the Greater Accra region. It borders Ablekuma Central. It also borders Ablekuma West, Okankwe North, Okankwe Central, Okankwe South, Anya, Soutum, and Weja Gbawe constituencies respectively. And these are the border or boundaries of the Ablekuma North constituency. It is interesting how it has safely been assumed to be a seat of the NPP, yet many can't say categorically that the NPP is going to retain that seat. We will be crossing over to Ablekuma North, as I mentioned once again. Cadmiel, our reporter, is on the ground. Let's go to him right away. Cadmiel, good morning once again. Thank you very much for rejoining. What more can you tell us where you are?
Yes, good morning. So, like earlier mentioned, I'm at a Methodist Church, Odoko 1 polling station. And so far, we have about almost 50 people coming in to vote. Initially, there are only as at around 7, there are about 25 voters, but then by now close to 50 have voted. And we see security being beefed up. Initially, we saw some people who are reported or alleged to have had the plan to maybe cause some form of mayhem. And because of the heavy presence of the security forces here, they were deterred and they had left. So At the moment, there's calm and there's peace here. One issue that just popped up was we have interviewed a couple of voters, and they said that they didn't get a chance to vote. From what I am seeing, I think that some people didn't really get the information well. The information is that in this particular polling station, there are about 3 or 4 polling stations within that little enclave here. However, it's just one polling station that was affected, or it's part of the 19 that are being voted, or that would have to partake in the electoral process today. So because of that miscommunication or misinformation that people have, some who were supposed to vote or whose names are in the register of the other polling stations also came in to vote to exercise their franchise, but they were told that their names are not in the list. So the issue here has to do with the fact that they are not really sure. A lot of people were not really made aware of the fact that within this particular polling station, where there are 4 polling stations within this little enclave, only one is active or part of the 19 affected, and they are not aware of that. So those who are in the other polling stations, or whose names are in the other polling stations, have also come to vote here, and they were told that they are not supposed to vote here. So some of them are disappointed, but it's all a matter of misinformation or lack of awareness of the entire electoral process today.
Is it the case that perhaps constituents are not aware that it is not the entirety of the constituency going to the poll, but then there's only 19 polling stations that are currently in contention, and therefore a rerun necessary?
Exactly, that's the obvious reason, because I think there should have been some public education by the EC. They should have made the people aware that even though this is Methodist Church Odoko 1, there are, or maybe perhaps should have indicated, put up some signposts to tell them that this particular police station, or this particular area where there are 4 police stations here, it's only one that is working, or that it's only one that has been affected.
Right.
So that lack of publicity and awareness and education is what has amounted to this. So I have a feeling that we would even have more voters trooping in and going back disappointed because their names have not been seen, or they couldn't find their names in the register. And it's all about miscommunication or lack of awareness or education of the process that is going on at the moment.
Apart from voters turning up and being turned away because their names are not on the register, or that they are not supposed to be voting where they have gone to try or attempt to vote, what other complaints do you have, especially from voters?
Yeah, so like I said initially, we have interviewed a couple of them. Some of them are very worried because to them they really had the intention to vote for their candidate. However, because of the fact that they couldn't find their names in the voters register, they couldn't get the chance to exercise their franchise. So they come in, they go back looking all worried and frustrated. But it's the issue also has to do with the fact that I think that the electoral officials have to really educate them. Even when they come, they have to tell them that the reason why you couldn't get the chance to vote was because your name is not in this particular police station that has been affected. So it's like they just come, they look through the list, they don't find their names, and they tell them that you are not supposed to vote here, and then they go back without them being told exactly why their names are not here. So that has been the issue. They have not really been given the exact communication as to why they are not getting the chance to vote. So
right.
That is the only issue we are finding or noticing here at the moment. There needs to be some more awareness as with the current situation.
Right.
The people have to be told, else they will just keep coming in and going and looking all disappointed about the fact that they couldn't vote.
Right. Do you have a situation, or have you had a situation where a voter turned up to vote where you are, which is the Methodist Church, and then being told they are not on that register, and then eventually or subsequently finding their name when they've moved somewhere else. Have you encountered someone with that kind of situation?
No, not yet. I haven't encountered that situation yet. The only people who came and the only set of people that have been coming in here are those who come, find their names and vote, or those who come, do not find their names and leave worried or disappointed. These are the two sets of people who have noticed.
How would you describe the police's engagement with members of the public around the polling area? Because obviously there may be some who would want to just come and observe. What has been the engagement with the police on that score?
Yes, so there's been security here has been really beefed up. I spoke to the chief of police at this particular polling station, and he told me that 60 policemen have been deployed here alone, who are permanently stationed here today. However, as time goes on, you see some more armored vehicles and buses containing these policemen coming in once in a while to just make sure that visibility here is high, just to deter people who would want to cause some chaos and chaos. So police presence here is very, very, very high. The visibility is very good. The only issue that I think, because the police people are patrolling the whole or the entire constituency, it is causing a lot of traffic because the police vehicles are just moving back and forth all the time. As I'm speaking to you, I think you can hear some from the background, can hear the sirens. So it's just a constant thing that is happening here. They just come and go. But then permanently, 60 policemen have been stationed here. According to the report I was given, 60 policemen have been positioned in just this particular police station. But once in a while, they call for more backup. They come here to ensure that there's more safety and security for the people who are voting. So that has been the security presence here, the visibility here. It's very good. It's good. One more thing is that I was also speaking to one person and he was saying that it's likely that they will not even want to vote because they feel that the place looks a little bit too tense. I mean, there's so much tension here, and they are scared. I mean, so for them they could just be their home and be secured from all these challenges happening here.
Wow.
So why would they want to come here where there's so much policemen here than to just come and encounter a challenge or a problem?
Right.
So they would rather prefer to stay home.
Right.
So it looks like both. It's helping. I mean, their presence here is good, and in a way too, it's kind of deterring eligible voters. They would want to just be at their comfort zones and not come and experience any challenge. So it's scaring some people away though. But all in all, I think security here is very good and it's tight.
Right. Kadmio, I'll leave you here for now, and we'll surely come back to you at some point during this live broadcast. You look after yourself and stay safe while you're out there. It's election day, only 19 polling stations, but troublemakers would surely also turn up to be counted. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
The entire exercise, which is the rerunning of these 19 polling stations, came off the back of an EC release, a press release on the 2nd of July 2025. Let me quickly take you through that presser, and then from there, I ask Dr. Professor Edujemfi a legal question, and that has to do with whether or not this exercise has a place insofar as CI 127 and Regulation 42 is concerned. And we'll come to look at that in some more detail. But let me bring you the EC's press release. As part of its commitment to resolve the impasse regarding the Ablekuma North Constituency parliamentary election, the Electoral Commission yesterday, Tuesday, 1st July 2025, met with the representatives of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, and the New Patriotic Party, NPP. The meeting, which was a follow-up to an earlier meeting held on Thursday, 12 June 2025, provided both parties the opportunity to brief the Commission on any new developments regarding the said constituency. the parties informed the commission that their position put forward at the last meeting remained unchanged. The NDC held the view that the election should be rerun in 37 polling stations because scanned pink sheets from 37 polling stations which were used to collate the results were provided by the NPP, and that was the argument of the NDC. Let's hear what the NPP also had to say. The NPP was also of the view that the results from 3 outstanding polling stations be collated and a winner declared, since the NDC agents had verified and confirmed the scanned polling station results they presented. It is important for the public to understand that the issue in contention has to do with the fact that 37 pink sheets provided by the NPP and used to collate the results were scanned copies. The public may recall that political party supporters besieged our collation center and destroyed a number of the pink sheets for the Ablekuma North parliamentary election during the collation of results following the December 7th general election. After extensive deliberations, the commission informed the political parties that it would proceed to rerun the election in 19 out of the 37 polling stations. The commission arrived at the decision to rerun the election in the underlisted polling stations because the 19 scanned polling station results used for the collation, though approved by the agents of both political parties, were not verified by the presiding officers responsible for those polling stations. It is instructive to note that the commission was able to secure the presiding officers' verification and confirmation for 18 scanned polling station results. Agents of both parties also approved same. A rerun will therefore not be held in those polling stations. The election will be held on Friday, 11th July 2025, which is today. Find attached the list of the 19 polling stations, which were the ones I brought to you earlier. And then the commission counts on the Ghana Police Service to provide the needed security to ensure a safe environment for the conduct of the elections or the rerunning of those polling stations outstanding, as I mentioned, which is the 19 polling stations currently actively being engaged. I asked Professor a legal question, and perhaps it is one of the critical arguments currently making the waves. Before I come to that, let me go on the ground once again and engage our reporter, John Guama, who has got some news for us. John Guama is coming to us from the Bethel Baptist Church, which is in Sakama. John, thank you very much. Welcome once again.
Well, you're welcome. I'm currently at the Roman Catholic Church.
Oh, you have moved
in Odoko.
Right. Thank you very much, John. You have moved to the RC Busia Junction. Thank you. Okay, what can you tell us from there?
Can you take that again, please?
What can you tell us from your current location?
Well, so the atmosphere here also is relatively calm, although this police station is termed as a hotspot as far as election in this constituency is concerned. But currently, the atmosphere is a calm one. And, you know, just like I always do, I want to find out if the EC officials are confident that the security they've been provided is one that, you know, they can trust in, and that the dynamics or the narrative has not changed. Mr. Emmanuel Dumont, who is the presiding officer, has confirmed that with the about 17 police officers that have been deployed to this police station, he is confident and he is not going to, act in any way that would, show that he's been intimidated. He's sure that these forces that have been provided him will protect him to discharge his duty as expected of him constitutionally. But I want to say that one worrying concern that is voter apathy. Now, he also shared the sentiment that voter apathy is one thing that has plagued his polling station. And it's not different from the other places we went to. He also revealed that some 538 voters are expected to cast their ballot at this polling station. Out of that, only 78 have done that. As I speak to you now, the time is 9:52, and only 78 have been able or turned out to cast their vote. He also making sense of demographics. He's saying that there are more females turning out this time around to cast their ballot as compared to males. And you want to look at age demographics. It says that around 20 to 45 of when you talk about age, 20 years old to 45, that is within the female demographic, are the people or voters that have turned out massively. He says that these demographic would attribute to some 70% of the 78 voters that have already cast their ballot. So the concern now, the worrying concern now is voter apathy. I've been able to speak to the MCE for Gan South, who came to observe the process, and then he also shared the same sentiment. I didn't even mention it. He mentioned it that voter apathy is one of the things that is worrying as far as this process is concerned. But he is confident that the day is still young and people will turn out. He believes that this could be attributed to the fact that people have voted for a parliamentary candidate who couldn't perform to the expectation, and so they find no need to come out to come and vote. But I said, so who suffers this voter apathy? Is it the opponent, or you also suffer? You also suffer. We believe that, well, although they suffer, they have upper hand because of the outlook of the current government. He believes that constituents are confident in the performance of the JM administration. I had the opportunity to speak to a national youth organizer of the National Democratic Congress, who also shared that there are challenges that the constituency is facing, and precisely Roma Catholic Church, the Buza Junction, Odoko here, he mentioned some challenges that they are facing. And I found that interesting because his opinion is a good sample for the youth who are on the side of the NDC, because he's the national youth, is the youth organizer for these communities.
Okay.
So you could appreciate what he shared. He spoke about teenage.
Absolutely, John.
The least rain that falls.
All right, John. Thank you.
They cannot come out of their rooms to
We're going to have to
the usual thing that they need to do because of flat issues.
We're going to have to come to you in a minute, John. Hold on for us. Let's go to Humu, who's joining us with some more stories. Humu, welcome.
Because when him say constituency way in election, Nyama is na enkoyi into the party can say Rerun nya dia yedi hu bejim na the American say Ghana na epe ni into bibi kosuna enye kama they will say enye kudro na yen kama se wawa kakra say ebe ko election na 281 police stations party are always experience a wire abakosem aye politics our organizational power our politics power Ghana better is 281 in our own account straight away we say bibi na e koso ya boy yem achichiri ensa ama ebia isi pictures wo kra ye de jakotu munina muni nanso sebi o say MPP na e wan yi kakra enti wo kan obi antie o but me pa body say going forward the election we are a very peaceful journalists mun take interest in why are you to about we are obitimi ka say krata ide man no na ebia isi krata so why na ko hwe dia na ide jai it's very important maka we no I'm a party person. It's a party yen share say as a matter of principle super we nya dia de hu be fra me gisa arrangement no tum nanso eku free ye sebio menua panyi a oye okumafo na for the past 6-7 months nyama wa femu no ubena enda form na say your kan collection center ni party mi yin sa bona sum ni boni a waye ni say oye candidate a wako election enti me hwe nyama eku free femu a mint na fie say your party hihye say sebio ntutrasem na akoso constituency we ntie fa onjim enti makoma woni ho enti na mabaha na mabaha e asumdwe nyankopon na ye hwe no tumi akanfo say emre indicas ebi mo ba sebio mi kan be e papa rolling square out na 20 years plus emre du ye no eden okoy enti 88 seats in parliament seat we e gia em make any difference yanjiswa em make any difference. By any say politics, any politicians sitting in politics. We are doing politics as a vehicle for development. And it's a baby see amongst politicians Nipa Yesha, the trust is on the fourth arm. I am media and say, Munchina na yen kanu kwa say, where dear and yadia, yedi juma. Oko boy, and then I'm from an abo etia MPP. And then I say you want he can cry a car some of but Ochinibi send from Manu Bowa Yafa. Na seats cry enye dia in this winning na yakobo modin kakra na ye ben na ye din to transcend tries e be far sada no wan sha na ya nyobi antasenti enti na ya be e fese asumdo wo ha but Bible say philosopher be say peace without justice is not true peace say chichi obi nsa na wa ye din no osire a ochine bi wan sha na wesu ti mesire mo anope de be din ahwede e koso na the enemy be abejiato but mamu rain feed this year and you happen this year other constituencies e kakakranka nipa di awodin eji and I one so enya awodin na say enfan kire do be di em I will say apatu and then try into Ablekuma North. Let me take the opportunity na me srem say enya ba no se mu hunu mo bo na mo bo ano na de wa femu ni nyina no e bia wanya a rechiche kakra enti enunti na ye wo ha no let me show thank you translate to English
Health Minister Mr. Bernard Okoboy. Mr. Bernard Okoboy, he was speaking in Twi in the local dialect. In the local dialect, we are currently at Awoshi DVLA office at Damami as we entered here a few minutes to 10, and we were informed that about 198 registered voters are here. At the time we were speaking to the presiding officer, Mr. Kwatin Jemfi, 613 registered voters. At the time that we're speaking to Mr. Kwatin Jemfi, the presiding officer for this particular polling station, he informed us that 98 individuals have so far come around to cast their vote in the 2025 rerun of the Ablekuma North constituency elections. We were speaking briefly to the former health minister, Mr. Bernard Okoboy, and he was talking about incidents leading to this rerun where he was accusing the NDC of burning some pink sheet during the 2024 7 January election, 7 December elections, and he's appealing to the media to stand for the truth and tell the truth when the truth is needed. He also mentioned that despite the decision of the party hierarchy not to contest in this particular election, he had decided to throw his support behind the NPP candidate. He described the candidate as his elder sister, and he will be ready at any point in time to give him support despite the decision by the party
I put it this way, my mind, which is my brain, is with my party because I am supposed to follow the rules, but my heart is with the lady, and that's why I'm here. And look, one seat wouldn't make a difference to our party. If we win, it wouldn't change where we are now that much. If we don't win, it wouldn't change where we are. But because of my relationship with the QFU, like I said, when I was in Parliament, she was my office mate. She's a big sister. Besides that, I'm a Christian. I'm a follower of Christ. Bible makes us understand that there are some special groups of people that we must always try and support. Orphans whose parents are not in this world, and widows whose husbands have left them. There are people that belong to a special group, and I'm here because of these two things: a personal relationship. The fact that she's a widow who has been abused. She was slapped physically at a collation center. She's been manhandled, intimidated, all because someone wants to use force to get power. And it is my duty to stand with her so that in the future, when I'm questioned by my Lord, I can say that yes, I was with her when it became very necessary. And I urge you, the media, also to stand with her as well.
What do you have to say regarding the decision of your party hierarchy not to participate in this particular rerun, and how do you think it's going to affect the chances of your candidate? In this election.
In 1992, Ghana went into elections with ballot boxes being opaque. When you stand, you can't see what is inside. NPP as a party said, as a sign of protest, they wouldn't participate in the 92 election. There were seats that if we had gone, if we had not won seats from us, we would have won about 30 seats. We let go of all those 30 seats to make a protest for the future that this is not something that must be endorsed. It brought pressure on the NDC government that in 96, they removed the opaque ballot boxes. Sometimes you make a statement, you sacrifice something you believe is yours to protect bigger things in the future. How, my sister? NDC is an experienced political party. NDC has been in power, gone out of power. They have branch executive across Ghana. Is it not surprising that they go for an election when you call them, where are your pitches? They say, I don't have. It means there is something. They have collected the pictures, and on the face, they realize that they didn't win. So now when you meet them, where are they? I don't have. Where you are storing the referee speeches to, people have gone there to put fire inside. So they will tell you, this is where is your pictures, knowing that it's not there. And then finally, when we bring ours, they said, I can't vouch for this. It is not fair. Some mischief is happening. All we are saying is that we are, as a principle, refusing to participate so that people's mind will go on this mischief for the sake of our country. Ghana must be the winner, not a politician. If we allow some politicians to be smart today, they will threaten Ghana tomorrow. Tomorrow you might have some people who are taxed. When they realize that force is being used, they also apply force. When two forces come together, it's mayhem. Today we are quiet, but someone will not be quiet tomorrow. So please, let's discourage the behavior where a politician will intentionally say, I can't find my papers. And they will chase the electoral commission and burn their papers. And they will tell you that the one you have, I can't vouch it. It is not the way to go. Today, we look very unpopular. So when we talk, nobody says it can threaten our democracy. That is what.
Is the party ready to take credit in case you wins this particular election?
What?
Is the party ready to take credit in case your candidate wins this election?
At least I'm proud of the principle. The principle is that we said a rerun is not the way to go. And we are still standing by it. But individuals who join political parties have rights. The lady has the right to participate in the process. She says she's going. I will not condemn her. Already I've said that she's a big sister. So my mind is with the party, but my heart is with her. In NDC, there are people who went independent. Later they came to join NDC. Now she's on her own more or less. If she wins and she comes back, it's no news. But we would have stated our protest, which is that as a nation, we should not encourage political parties who are very experienced, well organized, to say that I don't have any paper, because they realize that a seat is getting out of their hands. If you endorse this, have you thought of the danger? Next election, anywhere I realize that it is tight, I'll start chasing the issue officials. It is not the way to go. We want a peaceful country. Peace comes with justice. When I was so confused, the NDC complained for 8 years. We have been cheated, oh, they beat us. Now, see what is happening. We don't want these things to be carried. So we want a peaceful country so we can have development. Me, I'm politically biased. So when I talk, someone say, oh, go boy, the same people. But we are looking up to independent people like you, the media, and civil society. When MDC is wrong, tell them they are wrong. When MPP2 is wrong, tell us. If you keep quiet and one day we start burning, you too, you will burn. You understand what I'm saying? So we still keep our principle that this process is a flawed process, but we want a peaceful country. So we will observe. In any case, power is with them. Ghanaians say they want NDC in power, and we respect that. That's what I have to say.
Will the party, sanction her anyhow?
No, I will not say anything for now. But if you understand the things this lady has gone through, going to punish her is not one of the things you consider. Let's see what God will do by 5 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we've been talking to the former health minister, Mr. Bernard Okoboy, who is here in his personal capacity to support the NPP candidate Nana Efriye Owusu in this particular rerun. He explained to the media that he's here in his capacity as a friend and as a brother to the candidate, and though he stands by the principles of the NPP headquarters, the national decision, he is also here as a personal friend and as a personal brother to support the candidate. We try to find out whether the party's decision is likely to affect her chances. He's only hoping for the best, and he's hoping, and he was also appealing to the media and Ghanaians in general to try to speak the truth and to protect the democratic process, the electoral processes, so that other activities, illegal activities that are used by other political parties to snatch powers that do not belong to them will be discouraged. So we've been reporting here. We've been here at DVLA Awoshi, Adamami 2 polling station, where we are told that about 613 registered voters are expected to pass by to cast their vote. We've seen a few political party hierarchy, especially the NPP party hierarchy, who have been show their support behind the NPP candidate. Let's not forget that the party national executives are on one side, but we still have some of the constituency supporters who have decided to support the candidate. If you watch the media yesterday, we saw the likes of the former Vice President, Dr. Baumia, giving some kind of financial support. We also heard that Mr. Brana Champo has also given some kind of financial support to the NPP candidate for this particular election. We've had some members of parliament showing their support verbally behind the candidate, the NPP candidate. You see, the issue is a bit dicey. The issue is a bit dicey because we have the party executive saying we are not going for the election. Then we have the candidate and the supporters of the candidate saying they wanted to go for the party. Then we have individual party leadership, individuals who have not really come out to say they are supporting her action, but financially they are supporting her action, and most of them are also saying they are supporting her candidature, her intention to run for the rerun because of her personal effort and a lot of punishment. I mean, they claim she had to go through to get to this point. So we are still here. We were talking to the presiding officer earlier on, Mr. Kwartin, who was telling us, Mr. Kwartin Jemfi, who was telling us that Awoshi Adam Mami too. You know, this is one of the hotspots in the constituency, and because of that, he was telling us that things surprisingly have been cool, and he attributed the serene and the peaceful nature to the amount of security officials deployed here. We have a lot of them, a lot of the security officials deployed here who are here to maintain peace. And he believes, Mr. Jemfi believes that this is the reason why activities have been smooth and calm so far at here, DVLA Awoshi, Adama Mitu, polling station. So we've been here, we've been reporting. We'll bring you more feed. We'll give you more feed as and when it happens here at Awoshi, DVLA.
If you can hear me, you engaged the Honorable Bernard Okoboy, who is said to be there in his personal capacity to support the candidate. What do you make generally of the presence of the likes of Honorable Okoboy on the ground, and whether that will have any effect in bringing the seat home to the MPP? I guess Humu can't hear me, so let's leave it there. When we reconnect, I will put that same question to him. It's a question that viewers would want to know. What will be the effect of especially members of the MPP showing up after the party had said it would not participate, yet you have some leading functionaries of the party at the very last minute either doling out cash to the candidate or verbally throwing their support behind the candidate. Will that have any effect in changing the party's fortunes or the candidate's fortunes on the ground? There are also those who argue that indeed the EC has no such legal mandate in the context of what the current situation is to stage any rerun at all. And that question is also left hanging. But for a brief recap of events since December 7th, on the January 4th, after the NPP has gone to court, in the Accra High Court, Justice Ban Forcing Ejapong, who sat on the case, concluded that the EC should go back and collate whatever outstanding polling stations there are and declare a winner subsequently. That collation, in part, took place, except that it wasn't conclusive, and the EC is not on record to have gone back to the courts to perhaps draw the court's attention to what impediments there's been in their way in order, or that they've been unable to, as it were, collate and declare. And so if you're taking the EC's mandate within CI 127 Regulation 42. Regulation 42 reads, and I perhaps have to paraphrase or quote and unquote. Regulation 42 within CI 127 grants the EC a limited scope to stage a rerun, and that can only take place where there is a tie or a parity between two leading contenders. In this very situation, that isn't the case. There was no tie at the Ablekuma North. What there was rather was confusion, chaos, and some will argue mismanagement to a large extent on the part of the EC, and that is the reason why perhaps the EC is seen in the way it is seen. Let's look at the background to it again. So January 4, the High Court heard the mandamus application, ordered a recollation, collate all 281 polling stations in the Ablekuma North, including the final 62, and declare a winner. There was no reference to rerunning any poll. And then July 1st, the EC, having met the two parties, decided and announced to us that they were going to stage a rerun. Let me go back to John. Okay. Right. Okay. So I would have to go back to Humu.
Adibakwe Dienya 2024 is a young prophet to draw MP Amba. And we need this seat so important. And the Obibia Wofia won't bet you and pay Yebesre. Say P. We MPP Dishan Kwadi appear, never trouble a man on Nekwe free or done number one. So far, no, this is my first place. In TB Bolivia. Okay, Sani is your corner. There be minty, but that means shut TV3 with ye. And I see police in Obia Bo, Journalist Bakumasum or something. As I say, and I mean, social media, no, there's one of the police officers, quite unfortunate. Yebesre. Which one more boy, which in a baby na police in catch of Sobia Chumufu on Casano, Minabana, you Abotre Quanso said you'll be a better no was here. The Empeso be a bear pinting, Pasabia, the best beauty. Says a gun will be a shade. This is the only seater, Yapri or Crafo, our year Juma, if you over 2 million parliament, Mimic of Parliament 2013, 2017, the second term of a tour of one woman. Unfortunately, Olusuye, Masako, Aoba, Obetian and Juma Palace, and Yebesre said, Omuhunu Mobona in your Dino Kitano, non Timbeboa, no from the soup, Ablekuma North. And Mamusu was up for 7 wise, you woman in the BHD, Namusha, Biboni be about so Mumboku de Wu, Obu of Jim Bonibiwa, Muyin Mantentem, said the Hanabe, come. Yebesre police for us, Umbia money, Obibi Okobian against Sachin, you make sure Biboni be in or Kwan or Koto, Utu Ya Nabako. You bought 4 or 5 and what you are. And the media catch up said, the nuclear free honorable in Sabaka, MPB and Yakunya, Papa. But me call for national organizer and to me be bomb. Do
you think that the decision by the party leadership to stay away from this rerun will affect the chances of your candidate?
We're all here. I don't want to go back. What is important is that Equifia is running. The focus and adrenaline must be on her. The world marshal all our party supporters at home to come and cast the ballot for us. So don't talk about that one. Okay?
Is there any particular measures in place? You people are saying that in the last election, the seat was almost snatched from your hands. Is there any particular measures you've put in place this time around to protect, especially during the coalition?
When I look through the data, basically it's about 6,000 votes, plus or minus. At least it's a working day too. Most people voters will go to work and they'll be rushing to come from work to come and cast, or some will vote before they go. But plus and minus, I'm expecting a little above 4,000 plus. At least that would be quite about a little over 60%.
As you are encouraging all the constituents to come to vote, what will you say to them so that this time around the counting process will be done in a peaceful and serene manner?
What I said earlier in that can is that so long as you are an MPP supporter, it is your duty, it is your right to come and cast this ballot for us. We need this seat because we know how the NDCD operates. You are all here. Some of you are quiet. You are not talking about this LBTQWXYZ. You were so vociferous, so vocal. Everybody. They had opportunity at the UN and they said they abstained. Abstained for what? From the president down to every NDC supporter. the way they attack President Akufo, that he's refusing to sign, even though somebody has taken the matter to the Supreme Court. Today they have the opportunity. And look at how they are dancing around the whole thing. So they need this thing to do all the other funny things in Parliament. We need to avoid it. And we need to go and add up to the mighty minority in Parliament. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We've been talking to Mr. Titus Glover, a leading member of the New Patriotic Party. He's been here to offer his support to the NPP candidate Nana Owusu in the rerun for this particular election, Ablekuma North. He believes that no matter what the party hierarchy has decided, this time round, once the candidate has decided to participate in the rerun, every party supporter should come out to give him the maximum support. According to him, this seat is very important to the party because they need to increase their numbers in Parliament to be able to stop some laws that may be forced through the system by the ruling government. And he's encouraging all supporters to come out, that anyone who is at home who has decided to come later or not to come at all, he's encouraging everybody. As well, he's calling on everybody to ensure that this activity is done in a peaceful and serene manner. He's encouraging the media to help to protect the sanctity of this particular election, so that this time round, whoever wins will be able to win it legitimately, and the seat will not be taken away from the rightful owner. He believes that the last election was definitely won by the NPP candidates, and this is the time to prove to Ghanaians that really she won the election. So she's encouraging every party supporter, especially NPP, to come out to offer their support, to give their vote to the NPP parliamentary candidates, Nana Owusu Efriye, so that she can reclaim the seat for the NPP. We've been speaking to a lot of other party leadership. We spoke to Mr. Bernard Okubo earlier on, the former health minister, and we've been monitoring situations here at DVLA Awoshi, Adama Mitu polling station. We'll keep you updated. We'll let you know as and when things happen, and when whatever happens, we'll keep you updated. My name is Humo Abdullahi, GBC News.
Thank you very much, Humu. We're leaving it here. We'll cross over to John, who is on the ground, just as Humu, to catch up with some more stories. John, welcome. Thank you very much for joining again. Right. So I think John is just left. And so I was asking Humu earlier if she gets the impression a texter has just wanted me to respond to, which I'll bring to her at the right time. But let me go back to my earlier recount of how events had taken place. And so from December 7th, we're currently at a rerun on the back of a confusion or disagreement between the two leading candidates, being Nana Owusu Efriye, or Nana Owusu Efriye, and Arabna Obing, who belong to the NPP and NDC respectively. This matter has been to the court, and on January 4th, a court order was issued that EC directed. Let me go back on the phone and engage John. John, thank you very much for joining us once again. What do you have for us from where you are?
Right, so I'm currently at St. People's Church, Tunibua, and the voter turnout really is a challenge now. Voter turnout is very low, one of which the presiding officer, Mr. Nikwe, is saying that he doubts to have even 50% of the 412 voters that are expected to cast their vote at these polling stations. So voter turnout is really the challenge here. But it will shock you to know that when it came with the demographics, the female-male demographics at this polling station, the males are turning out more than the females to exercise their civic duty. And so we have some 47 males, casting their votes, and then 42 females also casting their votes, making the total vote cast 89 as a 10-26. So by way of, what is unfolding, and as far as the Pentecost Church is concerned, this is the details. But one of the things I would like to mention also is the fact that there are voters who come here and they don't have votes. They don't have votes because the polling station where they are supposed to vote, that vote has been authenticated by the EC, but they are not aware. So they are turning in here to, in an anticipation to cast their vote, only to be told by the officials that you don't have a vote here. So that has also been the emerging issue as far as voting in these 19 police stations is concerned.
Interesting how there's a seeming struggle to get people to come out and vote. I've also just seen a video gone by with the member for Ablekuma West, the Honorable Reverend Ado, showing up with one of the leading communicators for the NDC in the person of Akogan. What, and if any, how has the presence of such political elements or party elements affected or changed anything on the ground?
Well, I don't see any impact of the presence of these big folks in the party, because the end goal is to have voters come to vote. But if EC officials are telling you that they doubt to have 50% of the total voters that are supposed to report to a particular police station to turn out, then you can be sure that nothing else counts but the fact that voter apathy is still a challenge that we are facing. So while they are here, most of them do not even move. They are, for example, the Bethel Church, the Reverend Ado is still there, galvanizing people, ensuring that people come to vote. But I'm telling you that the turnout is not encouraging at all.
Good. John, I haven't only seen Reverend Buama, Reverend Ado, and Akogan. I've also just seen Yamin gone by. What is the situation like relative to the presence of these big wigs within the various political parties? Have you had a situation where you have both NDC, MPP, big wigs on the ground at the same time?
Oh yeah. So at the Bethel Church, we have both parties, present on grounds, and each of them doing their own business and having private discussions. One of which we could not invade to know what was happening. But at Bethel Church, we had all the two parties present. I'll call it delegates from the two parties present, and they're doing what they think would help the process, and there has not been any challenge emerging from such such position.
Right. Being a supposed safe NPP seat, John, do you get a feeling that perhaps there is a certain apprehension in the air on the part of the NPP, given that people are not necessarily turning out to vote?
Well, I didn't get the question clearly, but I think we are still talking about voter party and how the NPP is reacting to it.
Indeed, yes.
All right, so yeah, they did not actually see it as a challenge. They haven't spoken about it as far as those who have engaged are concerned. They haven't spoken about voter apathy. It's not a challenge to them as far as talking about issues that are pressing to you is concerned. But undisputably, voter apathy is something that is cannot be denied, and it can affect all the two parties really.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much, John. We'll leave it here and we'll come back to you when necessary. Once again, that's just gone as John Guama coming to us from the Bethel Baptist Church in Odoko, where some 464 voters are expected to vote, and since polls open at 7 a.m., he mentions there's been only between 70 and 96 persons who's been there to cast their votes, and of the number, there seem to be more men rising up to the occasion than women showing up to vote. In a few minutes, I'm going to take a break, and when we come back, my colleague George Nidonu Sapo and the team will take over and carry on until there's some news on the ground to go to. In the meantime, let me give you a quick recount of the number of voter polling stations within the Ablekuma North constituency before I rise on this for that break. God First International School, the Akuma 1, Pentecost Church, Mount Zion Assembly, Kwashiman, DVLA offices, Awoshin, Adamami 2, Asiedu Jedu Memorial School, Awoshin, Living Spring Day Nursery, Kwashi Bu, the Lord's Pentecostal Church, Kwashi Bu, Presby Church, Odoko 4, the Church of Pentecost North Odoko 2, the Church of Pentecost North Odoko 4, Methodist Church Odoko 1, St. John the Baptist Catholic Church, Odoko 1, Radiant Way Preparatory School, North Odoko 2, Atiko School Complex, Odoko, South Odoko 4 and 5 schools, Odoko 3, the Church of Pentecost, Cheneboa 2, Light of Gospel Miracle Church, Light of Gospel Miracle Church, that's in Cheneboa 2, and the MTTD Odoko Divisional Station, Odoko, and Roman Catholic Church, Busia Junction, Odoko 1, and finally the Bethel Baptist Church, Sakama 1. And on this note, I'll take a break here. And my name, as always, is Darrell Alan Tego. Thank you very much for joining us on GBC News. Keep watching GBC News. I'll join you back shortly.